Good morning. It's time to get in touch. Brought to you by Geisinger Muncie and Jersey Shore. State-of-the-art healthcare close to home. Every week, this public affairs show shines a spotlight on people and programs in our communities that improve the quality of life in Lycoming County and beyond. I'm Freddi Hammer, host of In Touch and news director at Backyard Broadcasting. Well, joining us today on In Touch is the Executive Director of Dwell Orphan Care, an organization dedicated to empowering foster, adoptive, and kinship families to love and care well for the children entrusted to them. She's a TBRI practitioner. We're going to find out about that. And she's here to share how the community can help bring hope to local families this Christmas through the Hope Chest, holiday pop-ups, the Made to Celebrate program. And we welcome Jennifer Lake. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Freddi. Thanks so much for having me.
It's nice to have you in studio today.
Yes.
So tell me about the heart and the mission of Dwell Orphan Care.
Well, the heart behind Dwell is to equip, empower, and encourage our local foster and adoptive and kinship caregivers, stepping into a situation where you're saying yes to children who have experienced significant trauma and abuse and adversity. And the burnout rate for caregivers who are doing that is pretty high. Mm-hmm. And so we really strive to wrap around these families and these caregivers to give them greater capacity because we believe that these children deserve it.
It's like you need to pad the bench to make sure there's lots of people supporting everybody.
Yes, it takes a village,
for sure. How did we get Dwell Orphan Care here in our area?
Well, I'm an adoptive parent myself and have provided kinship care as well for a family member. And I've been a caseworker in my former life as well as an educator. So I was working directly in the field as a resource family specialist and post-adoption support specialist. And through that work, I really loved that work. But I was finding that families were really not well supported within their community. And so I started to go down this rabbit hole of researching why is that and what are we missing? What are the gaps and what resources are available? And I felt like the Lord was putting on my heart to start something that was not here, was not anywhere near this area, couldn't really find anybody doing what I was envisioning needed to be done to meet very real, tangible, practical needs for families who are saying yes to a lot of unknown. So I started Dwell in 2019. With a hope and a prayer that it would catch on and that the community would support the work of Dwell for the sake of the children in these homes. And it's really been quite a wild ride.
You chose the name Dwell. That's such a sweet word. It's what we want for everybody, to dwell somewhere that loves them.
Yes.
So that represented something to you, I suppose, with
It did. I really wanted a name that meant something significant for the organization. I knew I wanted it to be a nonprofit that focused on serving this population. I was studying scripture at the time, specifically the book of John, and the word dwell and dwelling just kept coming up to me, and just thinking about how it means belonging and abiding and connecting and safety and all of those things. And so I just felt like it was the perfect word, and it has really stuck.
It really is a good word. It's so lovely.
No, thank you.
I do love that.
I appreciate it.
There's three different things: the adoptive care, the foster care, and kinship care. What's the difference?
Okay, so adoption would be permanent, right? So there's a child who needs a home, whether it's domestic infant adoption or perhaps an international adoption where families are adopting children out of orphanages abroad. And so that's adoption. It's permanent, right? You are forever that child's legal parents, and you accept all responsibilities that would come with that. Foster care is really meant to be temporary. So foster parents are meant to champion the possibility of reunification. So it means that a first family, for whatever reason, and there's lots of reasons, children will get removed from a home. It could be abuse, neglect, substance abuse, mental illness, and they're placed in a foster home. And then that child's biological parents are meant to work a case plan to get better, do the things that they need to do for the courts to say you are now safe and you have custody of your children again.
Okay.
And the foster family basically takes care of those children for as long as it takes. And we don't always know how long that will be.
Okay.
Sometimes then that goal changes from reunification to adoption. So perhaps the child's biological parents cannot do what they need to do to regain custody, and then rights are terminated, which then makes that child what we call legally free for adoption.
Okay.
And the foster family would then have the opportunity to adopt that child. That happens roughly 50% of the time.
Okay.
We never really know. Kinship care is a whole different thing. Most people think of kinship care as grandparents raising their grandchildren.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the laws are pretty loose on that. So it doesn't actually have to be a blood relative. You and I could be friends or even just acquaintances, and maybe our children play together and they know each other from school, and my children, for whatever reason, are going to be removed from my house. Well, Pennsylvania passed a law that they want counties to go to the nth degree to try to find some level of kinship care before placing in foster care, believing that any level of that child knowing the caretaker is better than that child moving in with a complete stranger. The challenge with that is that most times kinship caregivers do not receive any kind of kinship stipend like a formal foster family would.
Oh.
Right. I wish I had the power to change this. I'm working on, getting to the right people to have those right conversations, because it really does create a tremendous strain on a family, especially think about grandparents who are on fixed incomes. And now all of a sudden CYS says, hey, will you take care of your grandkids? Oh. And they're going to want to say yes, because the alternative that they're told is if you don't, they're going to go to foster care, but we're not going to help you take care of them.
Wow, it seems backwards.
Them, feed them, all the things. Now, some counties will do that. Okay. Some counties will license those kinship homes, and then there is some, financial help to clothe and feed these kiddos, but not every county. So it's very tricky.
There must be challenges that we don't even understand.
100%. Yes.
I mean, it's like you sort of see it like, oh, the grandparents want to take the kids in. Okay.
There's so much more. So we are seeing at Dwell a lot more kinship families coming for resources, services, clothing for their kids, through our Hope Chest program, or support for birthdays, or, whatever it is that they need. Money's tight, and
they need shoes, coats.
They need shoes. They keep growing,
yes.
Right? So it's been an interesting challenge for us to navigate this year in particular. And it's just going to continue to be, I don't want to say a problem, because I feel like that's kind of negative, but a challenge. It is a challenge that we're always trying to navigate and figure out how can we say yes to the needs.
I hope you see in this community the generosity.
Dwell would not be Dwell without the support of the community. It takes all of us to care about this work, to make it work.
Now, I said the acronyms earlier, the TBRI practitioner.
Yeah.
So I see that's trust-based relational intervention.
It is. Yes.
Explain that to me.
Okay,
what
sure.
does that mean?
Yeah. So I am a TBRI practitioner. We've got a couple of other people on our team at Dwell who are also TBRI practitioners. Trust-based relational intervention is our trauma model. So as a trauma specialist myself and these other people on my team that are trained specifically in this model, we are able to offer TBRI caregiver training to really any foster, adoptive, or kinship caregiver, as well as anyone that just really cares about children who might come from hard places. So we've been doing trainings for church groups. We've been doing trainings for schools. We've done trainings for foster care agencies.
Is it just to help people understand it better, or to qualify them to be more of a helper?
TBRI is to help understand behaviors of children who have come from significant trauma and adversity.
Okay.
Understand, we say, like, the needs behind the behavior, right? All behavior is a form of communication. When we know the need, then we can meet the need. And so understanding what has happened, what the early risk factors are for neurological deficits and sensory issues in children, understanding how sensory needs play into behavior, understanding attachment, the attachment cycle, the different attachment styles, and how our own adult attachment styles influence and impact the way that we see the world and then the way that we parent. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into the training. There's 4 modules. So we go pretty in depth. That's a very short description. There's lots more information about TBRI on our website. But we have an excellent trauma team to train and help in that area.
We're sort of transitioning or something. It's like we came from families that were like, suck it up.
Absolutely.
And now we're seeing, oh my gosh, that's not the right way to handle it.
Absolutely.
And so that kind of stuff is so new almost.
It is. It is. And so I think that there was absolutely sort of this generation where it was very much like you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, dust it off. It just makes you stronger kind of thing. And to some degree, maybe there's some truth in that. And also, we know so much more now about how trauma impacts neurological development and the brain architecture. And so it's not like all the way on the end of, permissive parenting at all.
Okay.
Because permissive parenting is also quite dangerous for children, right? If we just let them do whatever they want, then there's no structure. equal parts nurture structure. So yeah, it's fascinating stuff. I personally love it because we've seen such improvement in relationships between caregivers and children when caregivers understand this and can really understand their child and meet those needs.
We could probably save the world if we all had these skills.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Yes. I mean, my hope really with TBRI is changing the trajectory of generational trauma.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Very real thing.
When I see kids that are incarcerated or they're having trouble like that, I just think, if they just could have had some more love or different circumstances.
Sure. Well, I mean, we know that the prison population, roughly about 80% of males who are incarcerated have experienced foster care. Mm-hmm. It matters, you know,
sure does.
And on average, a child in foster care will move about 4 times in their first year of placement. And about 50% of foster families will kind of throw in the towel and quit after their first placement or within their very first year of licensure because it's very difficult.
And that's trauma in itself.
Exactly.
I mean, you're coming from trauma and being traumatized more.
Exactly. And that's not the intent, right? Like foster families, for the most part, right, they want to do the right thing. They want to do good by children. That's why people get into wanting to be foster parents. And but if you don't understand the needs behind the behaviors that you are probably going to see after that honeymoon period is over, it's very easy to throw in the towel because it can be extremely isolating. So that's what makes Dwell different. We're not a foster care agency. We don't license families. If I get a family that calls and says, I think I want to be a foster parent, I say, that's wonderful. Let me refer you to an agency that can license you. And then once you have a child, we're going to wrap around you. We provide all of those supports when a child moves in.
So you're not a placement facility.
We're not a placement agency. We are not. No, we don't place children and we don't license families because there's plenty of those that can do that. Yeah.
Well, we're heading into the holiday season, and this can be probably a traumatic time for families, and they're missing their children. The children are missing their families. So you have a couple of different programs here. We're talking about the Hope Chest, and last night you just had the one in Lycoming County, and there's more coming up for Columbia County. And that's coming up next week. But there's so many good things coming up here in the next few days. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have our holiday pop-ups. We had 108 children come to our Lycoming holiday pop-up.
Wonderful.
All children who are experiencing foster care or kinship care this season.
Is that a way like they shop for things?
They do. Their caregivers can come alone and so that it's a surprise. Or, you know, for some of the older ones where they maybe don't believe in Santa anymore and they want some choice in the matter, they can choose some things. But we have activities set up also for if they have to bring their kids with them. The parents can kind of shop in secret. We've got Dwell elves to wrap the gifts. And then we'll have another one in the Bloomsburg area at our Columbia County location.
Okay. And I see that there's a Hope Chest going on, too. Those are for the different counties, too, which is we donate to the Hope Chest.
Yes. So the Hope Chest is essentially our foster closet. We call it the Hope Chest, and that program is really meant to restore dignity and provide hope to children entering foster care. So, as I said earlier, on average, a child will move about 4 times in their first year of placement. There's a lot of reasons for that. It's also a lot of opportunity to lose your things. And when children are placed in foster care, it's almost always quick, right? It's almost always an emergency kind of thing. They don't have time to grab their belongings, if they even have a lot of belongings, right? And if they do, they're often coming to the foster home with whatever it is they have in a trash bag.
So it breaks my heart.
I know. It should. This should wreck us. This is not okay.
You're right.
The Hope Chest exists to provide a new duffel bag that's personalized with that child's name on it in their favorite color or pattern, 2 weeks of clothing. All clothing is either new or like new. So we do accept clothing donations, but we're very picky in what we keep because the Hope Chest is not... I love a good thrift store.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong.
Me too.
That's not the purpose of the Hope Chest. So we're very picky with the quality of things that we keep. New shoes, new socks and underwear, pajamas, bedding. So if this child needs new sheets and comforter, which they often do, and they really love Minecraft, we're finding the Minecraft one, right? Or they really love unicorns, we're finding the unicorn one.
Do you get that information in time?
We do.
Okay.
If we don't have it in stock, then we'll just order it on Amazon right away and have it shipped directly to that family's house. And they usually will get it within 48 hours. So
you have an Amazon wish list that's part of this.
Yes, we do. We have an ongoing Amazon wish list for our Hope Chest for both locations. So we have a Hope Chest physical location in Williamsport that primarily serves Lycoming, Clinton and Bradford. And then we have a location in Bloomsburg that primarily serves Columbia and Montour. And then between Northumberland, Union, and Snyder, it just kind of depends where the foster family lives, which location we'll serve them out of. So we put everything together in that duffel bag, and then we also bring a care package to the family. So we're including things in that care package that are meant to be attachment enhancing, cozy blankets, squishmallows. The kids love squishmallows.
I love squishmallows.
I know, right? I know. Yep. And we do some gifts for the foster parents. We've got special Dwell insulated tumblers that we give them. We're very thoughtful in that, even down to laundry detergent. We include laundry detergent, but it's free and clear because a certain scent of laundry detergent could spark a memory for a child, and that could cause behaviors. And so we just try to be really intentional about those things. And then we also provide dinner. We bring them a freezer meal. Get all of those things together, and my Hope Chest directors then bring all of that to the family to eliminate the barrier of transportation or like loading all the kids in the car.
Right.
And that has been really just a gem of a program. We started the Hope Chest in 2020. So.
What kind of emotional response do you get from the families and the kids?
Families, the caregivers, usually tears of relief. Like the relief is just, it's like palpable, right? And then from the child, it's often, just these like looks of wonder, like, this is for me. Oh. I know it's oh gosh, it's heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. Something as simple as that can really remind them that there's a community fighting for them. There are people that see them. They are loved. They are valued, as well as the foster parents, just knowing that they have a tribe. There's a whole lot of us in this Dwell community now that get it. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's sad, too. I mean, we do a lot of crying amongst my staff. People often say to us, like, how do you not cry every day? And I say, we do, right? Like, why would we not? This is hard work. And we hear some really difficult stories. We hold close, we hold sacred because they're their stories, not ours. But we'll say, we cry here, and that's okay.
Yeah. How do you personally get through the hard day? Like, do you rely on your colleagues? Do you?
Yeah. Me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this work for a long time. So I've seen a lot of situations. I've heard a lot of stories. I've worked with a lot of families. And personally, my husband is a huge support for me.
Wonderful.
So, and my children are older now and are, out of the house. We're newly empty nesting now. And so I have more emotional capacity to pour into the families that we work with because my children don't need that in the ways that they used to need that so much. Also, quite honestly, I have a therapist of my own that I, can go to and work with and just unload a lot of the hard so that I am able to take on a lot of this hard stuff. If everybody avoided the hard things, nothing would really get done. In this line of work, you either build resiliency or you quit.
Rhino skin is what I think about.
Yeah.
Keep your rhino skin on. What your future thoughts are? Do you feel like you're just going to keep going this same way, or do you want to build, get larger, go to different spaces? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, great question. I never thought that we would grow beyond Lycoming County, and then we opened Columbia County in 2022. So I always want to remain in a posture of prayer and openness that when God opens doors naturally, that we're in a position to step in and say, we can meet that need. We had hoped to open kind of a brick and mortar in Bradford County this year. The need up there is huge. And that location would serve Bradford, Tioga, and Sullivan counties. Unfortunately, funding did not come through for us to be able to do that this year. My hope is if we work hard and build enough financial partnerships in 2026 that we could do that in 2027.
Do you get a list like these are the foster families that need support, and that's where you're seeing where the needs are?
So we work with children and youth, county children and youth agencies, as well as private foster care agencies in the area.
They know you exist.
They know we exist, and they send us referrals because they have seen what we're doing in these other counties, and they want that there for their families, and we want to step into that and say yes. But we need financial backing in order to do that. We don't charge anything to our foster, adoptive, and kinship families and caregivers. So, it's tricky. We don't have products to sell, right? So we really rely heavily on the generosity of the community and business owners and some grants, churches that will support the work, lots of different ways.
So there's donations of clothing and anything that you would use to give to the kids and the families. That's what we could donate, monies.
Yes. When we have the dollars, right, we can say yes immediately.
Right.
And we can project out. We can say, okay, we know we have this much pledged or this much that we know is going to come in and is predictable. We can start dreaming and building now to do XYZ because we know that that's, those funds are going to be there.
DwellOrphanCare.org, where it has all this information.
Correct.
That's a good spot to go. And here we are, we're dealing with Christmas, and it's on top of mind when we want to help the kids at this time of year. But you were talking about the Made to Celebrate program that you have for their birthdays all year long.
We just launched this year our Made to Celebrate program. It's our newest program at Dwell, and Made to Celebrate aims to celebrate and see children experiencing foster care and kinship care on their birthday. As this goes, word starts to get out. People hear about it from other counties, and they're like, we want that. We want that. And I want to say yes to all of that, all of those children in foster care. But we need funding. We need financial partners in that area. So Made to Celebrate, these children were made to be celebrated, right? This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Yes. The Lord made you on this day, and we see you. And so what we do is we get the referral from either the child's caseworker or the child's foster parent or kinship parent, and we will get that child's wish list. Kathy from my team, she runs our Made to Celebrate program. Kathy shops that child's wish list. She gets in touch with the foster parent or the kinship parent just to get some last details. So because we curate those birthday packages specifically for that child. It's not a cookie cutter, everybody in this age group gets this, when we can personalize things. Then we also have a gift certificate that we put in there. We've partnered with 3 local places in Lycoming County, as we've launched here, that child can take that gift certificate to one of those 3 places and redeem it for a treat of their choice. Nice. So they have voice and choice in that. And so all of that gets packaged and wrapped beautifully and fun and gets put in a box. And then Kathy ships that to that child. So then they're receiving Happy Mail on their birthday.
Oh, that's lovely.
Which is so special for them. It's a really feel-good program. I mean, it's just so sweet and is having a really positive effect on children's mental health.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
If there's anybody listening today who's an adoptive family or a kinship parent, and maybe they're struggling a little bit and haven't said anything, what would you say to them today?
Yes, I would say you're not alone. I would say that the world of foster care and adoption and kinship care can be very isolating, and we know that. But you don't have to be alone. We do have support groups also. Okay. One of the things Dwell does is we have care groups, and reach out to us. You can do it directly through our website, and we can connect you with a support group leader in 3 different areas, really. We've got one in Columbia County, we have one in Union County, we have one in the Lycoming and Clinton County area. So we have a really well-equipped team. And all of those care group leaders are also TBRI practitioners.
Okay.
And I would say that I know that it's incredibly rewarding. It's beautiful, and it's also brutal. And that's okay, right? We can hold both of those in tension.
So glad that it's available.
Yeah, me too.
Like I said,
me too.
You're an angel to do it.
Well, I mean, thank you. But it's one thing for someone to have the dream and the vision and to actually step out and do it. And that's what I've done. But there's no way that I could do what I'm doing. There's no way that Dwell would be what Dwell is without the staff and the team and the board and the volunteers and the community. But a spark has to ignite, and all of those people have to come around you to really make it work. That's what builds a movement, and that's what's happened. So yeah, it's me, but it's not just me.
Find out more at dwellorphancare.org.
Yes. You can email us at info@dwellorphancare.org. You can go to our website, dwellorphancare.org. Lots of ways to get involved. Our year-end appeal is going on right now. You can make a donation to our year-end appeal, help us set us up to say yes to a whole lot of birthdays in the new year. Lots of ways.
Well, it's been wonderful talking to you. Jennifer Lake, Executive Director of Dwell Orphan Care. Again, dwellorphancare.org. All the questions can be answered there. And if not, you can get an email to info@dwellorphancare.org.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for coming on In Touch today to tell us all about this great program.
You're welcome.
And we want to take care of the kids.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is the way that the word gets spread, and we reach people that perhaps wouldn't have known about Dwell.
Well, bless you and happy holidays.
As you.
In Touch is locally produced in our studios at 1685 4 Mile Drive in Williamsport. To get in touch with us for questions, comments, or topic ideas, call weekdays 570-323-8200 or email me at fhammer@backyardbroadcasting.com. For archived files of our In Touch shows, find our Backyard Podcasting link on any Backyard Broadcasting website or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Backyard Broadcasting. The programming discussed here on In Touch does not necessarily reflect the feelings or opinions of the management or staff. Thanks for listening to In Touch. Brought to you by Geisinger, Muncie, and Jersey Shore. State-of-the-art healthcare close to home.